Well, hi and welcome to my beautiful office. Today's subject is the 24-105 standard kit lens that I have bought for the R6. And when you're buying the R series, especially the R5 and the R6, you'll have to think about the fact that you're buying into a whole new system, and it includes the lenses. To get the most out of that camera, it is essential to have to go to the newer RF lenses. And that's the way I thought about the R6 right from the start, before I even bought it. So what are my reasons for buying a kit lens over the more expensive L lens that would give me better quality? Well, there's a little story behind that, so hopefully I can get through that story very quickly. Now, I bought the 5D Mark II when it first came out with the L lens, which is the same 24-105, and I've hardly used it. I'd have lucky to have taken 1,000 images, probably more like 700. So it's been a bit of a waste when you look at it that way. Now, it's heavy and it sits in my bag, and I've got like a leech or something biting me in the back of my leg. Yes, I have. Oh, you bastard. Ugh, there he is. Right, nick off. Having such a heavy item in my backpack all the time and rarely using it, it didn't make sense to buy the L lens. Because when I bought the 7D Mark II, I decided that I'd buy the kit lens for two reasons. To save on the weight when I go on overnight hiking, because I don't use it that much, only the occasional landscape shot and maybe a close-up of a little insect or something like that with my screw-on 250 close-up lens. And of course, if I use this lens on a C-size sensor, because it's a full frame lens, I'd get a crop factor, and it'd bring it down from 24 to close to 50 mil. So it's not a wide angle lens anymore. So really couldn't use it for the 7D Mark II. So buying the kit lens, it was fine, and it gave me some beautiful shots, even a few weddings that I shot. And this particular lens is a little bit better with quality than that lens. They just upped the game a little bit with their quality of the actual glass itself. So this is lightweight. It's not going to get used a hell of a lot, and it's really good for close-ups, which we'll get into later on. And it's just going to be a nice little lens. It sits in my bag for the occasional long distance hike when I can take landscape shots and some close-ups of insects. Alright, so time to move on to build quality. It's a cute looking lens. I really like styling that Canon have done with this. Look a lot closer though, it's all plastic. Now, I watched a video on a guy fixing one of these up that someone was selling broke. Actual inside shaft there was all wobbly, and he bought it so that he could see whether he could actually fix it, because that's what he does on YouTube. He fixes camera stuff, so he thought it'd be good for his channel, buy that lens and fix it up. And I'm into fixing things. I'm very good with my hands. I love to know the technology inside a camera as well as the outside and what it can do for you. You know, I'm a bit of a tech nerd. Love to know how things are put together. So he's pulled it apart. Now there are 2 pins on either side of this shaft at the end. Now they're to help guide and keep that shaft nice and straight and plain through. Now outer cover of that shaft runs in has slots on it on an angle, and those pins are sitting in there keeping it straight, the shaft straight as it runs through. So one of them had broken off and it was on a plastic mount, that's why it's broken, so it's a bit of a weak point. It's something to really be careful of with this lens, that it's not, you know, a rugged tough lens and we need to be careful with it. So what may have happened was it's maybe been dropped while it's been out full zoomed, or he seemed to think that maybe the guy was a bit rough with it and he's flinged it out really fast or brought it in really hard. He managed to fix it. He glued it back on with super glue and it seemed to be working and going a-okay. So we can fix these ourselves if we're that way inclined. Let's have a look at some of the images I've taken with this lens. So at its widest with these bees, you can see it does a really good job, but the background is not blurred out enough. So with a shot like that, we don't want any distractions in the background when we're doing close-ups. Yeah, we definitely want it all blurred out as much as possible, so we're not getting any distraction at all. At its widest end, it's 200 millimeters away. Now if we fully zoom it out to the 105, this is the best for those close-ups, because we can get up to 130 mils away from our subject. So we're coming in a bit, but we're, oh mozzies, sorry, you're getting me. We're getting a little bit closer, and because we're zooming, the background looks beautiful. There's another leech, isn't there? Ah, my God. It's leech day. Yep, there it is. Goodbye. So yeah, we get this beautiful looking background. It's really blurred out nicely, making our image much more appealing to look at, because there's no distractions. We're looking at the subject. That means I don't need to buy a close-up lens for this. It's a 250D screw-on. I sold that with my 7D Mark II, and there's no need to have one anymore because we're getting up close enough. And yeah, I don't do that very often, but if something catches my eye, I'll take a shot of something up close like that. And I do like to photograph bees flying as they're about to land on the flower. They look fantastic, and this is good enough for me. I don't want to buy a micro lens, an expensive waste of money for me, really. So this has replaced that 250D screw-on lens, so it's all good in one package. I'd just like to quickly talk about a little project that I'm doing, a little experiment. Now I believe that likes spread your channel, or spread my channel, much further in social media. Now, I've been doing social media for quite some years and it hasn't really worked for me. So what I see from YouTube is likes. Now I have 150 subscribers who regularly watch my stuff within the first 30 to 40 hours of my video coming out. Now if every one of you has actually liked it and can be bothered, because I think most of you don't think about hitting the like, you might forget about it, but if you did, that would make 100% likes within that first 24 to 40 hours. That would work beautifully with YouTube's algorithm. That's how it works. Likes make a huge difference to spread my channel around the internet so people can actually see it, because people aren't seeing what I'm making. So help me out with this project. Now I have said this a couple of times already in some of my videos, but I'm putting it right at the end, and I think you're maybe finishing up because you're used to my waffling on about telling you about my channel and things like that. So if you guys, if you could please help me out with that. Let's see my theory, whether or not this experiment of mine is true. Lights make a huge difference. Well, I've got the R6 set up, the kit lens on. We're going to film a bee coming onto a flower. Now, I had to put the polarizer on because they have a bit of a waxy surface to them, so there's a couple of hot spots there with blowout with the brightness. So yeah, the polarizers help that out a lot. And what I want to demonstrate here is the picture quality that you can get from filming with this lens, and also is this lens quiet. So I'm going to take the microphone off the Osmo Action camera and put it on here and see whether we can hear any focusing noise as it's trying to stay on, because what I'm going to do is put tracking on that flower, because there is a bit of a breeze every now and then, so as it moves it'll stick to it. So we'll see how good this lens is combined with the fantastic focusing system. Whoop, another leech. The system that the R6 has, and yeah, just see how good it is with this lens. Well, what a beautiful lens it is. It's really working well for me. From photographing and filming nature, it just does the job really well. The focusing system just works beautifully with eye detect and tracking, even right up close to your subject. It's only 130 mils away. It's quiet when you're filming, so you can't hear the focusing system. It just suits me down to the ground, even with portraiture work with my grandchildren. Does a beautiful job, nice colours on the skin and everything. So yeah, I love it. It's doing the job for me. But if you need a much higher end bit of glass and yeah, can afford the L lens, well, that's the lens for you then, isn't it? But for me, works fine, fit my budget, sit in my bag, occasionally get used, nice and light for going on those big long heights. So it fits the bill for me. Now, if you want manual focusing with this lens, you have to go into the camera settings and turn the manual focusing on. You'll get your assisting focusing tools there to help you out to get your critical focus. And also, where it says focusing there, we can switch it over to control, and that allows that focusing ring to be able to be turned into an aperture control or shutter control. I think ISO as well, whichever one you want. So you can set it to that in camera. So it's a beautiful little lens. I'm really enjoying it. Need to be a little careful though, obviously, with it, that we're not rough with it and break something inside. So in that respect, need to be very, very careful. But otherwise, lightweight, does beautiful images. There's no two ways about it. I like it as a great little lens. It's going to do me for quite some years, I'm sure. But if you'd like to subscribe to my channel and get more of this amazing stuff, click on my pretty little face just down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Hit the little bell, you'll get those notifications. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a like. Let's have a go at seeing what happens with this theory of mine. And if you want to go and have a look at all the other mad and crazy things I've been doing in the past, click on my icon right here at the end of this video. It'll take you to my channel. There's about 200 videos there to choose from me doing these sort of things, to talking about photographing and filming in a forest environment, and make little documentaries about what I'm doing in my reserve. I go on adventures, I take you with me. Now just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.